you can bank on this morning's guest being optimistic about feeling fit and looking fabulous. Meet her coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the coastal South Carolina chapter of the American Red Cross on Pampas Drive in Myrtle Beach near the soon-to-open Market Common on the former Myrtle Beach Air Force Base. We're focused on feeling fit and looking fabulous, and we're visiting with the Senior Vice President of South Atlantic Bank and a Herald columnist, Mary Jo Rogers. Good morning,
Good
Mary
morning,
Jo. Big title there, Senior Vice President, South Atlantic Bank. A new community bank which just opened November 28th, I believe.
It did, yes.
At the
Corporate Center.
Corporate Center, exactly. I didn't want to say Founder Center. At the Corporate Center, which is located where, Mary
It's
Jo?
on the corner of Bob Grissom Parkway and 21st Avenue in Myrtle Beach.
Okay, real easy to find.
Very easy to find. Just look at the baseball stadium and we're right across the street.
Yes. What's it like? Is it pretty exciting now? The first 2 weeks. Today is Friday, the 14th,
Yeah,
so 2 weeks in.
It's very exciting. We've had a lot of old friends and new friends come to join us, and had a gentleman come in the other day who had been with a bank that had been purchased by a larger bank and said he liked small banks. He was a World War II veteran. He looked around our bank and said, it doesn't get much smaller than this. So anyway, he brought us a deposit, and we were very happy to see him.
Yes.
So we're getting lots of new customers, lots of new faces.
That is wonderful.
So
you want folks to come in. You obviously need folks to come in.
Absolutely. We need folks to come in and bank with us, and I think they'll see a lot of people they know. They'll feel very comfortable, right. And we have hot donuts and coffee every day. One of our shareholders is the owner of Krispy Kreme, so you get hot donuts every day at South Atlantic, so come see us.
I like that benefit.
Absolutely.
Wow, that is very nice. That is very nice. Why go to Krispy Kreme? You can go to South Atlantic
That's right.
Bank.
Come to South Atlantic Bank.
I love it. I love it. You know, of course, for folks involved in a startup or anything of a sort, a new community bank is just that. It's making a difference right here in the community.
Absolutely. I think we found that with some of the consolidations that have happened in the last couple of years, even though the world says starting a bank, are you crazy? But in Myrtle Beach, we've had some opportunities, and I really think that people are looking for that hometown focus. That we're going to take care of our customers. We're going to make sure that people know their name when they walk in the door, and that they really feel good about walking into our company. And we're already seeing a difference. It feels like home again.
Wayne Gray was with us yesterday. He was with another community bank.
Absolutely,
I think one out
with
of Mount
Tidelands,
Pleasant,
yes.
with Tidelands Bank, and obviously those folks, a lot of great community banks in the area, and of course you've got feelings for all of them. I mean,
absolutely, they are good corporate friends of ours.
Very definitely. Feeling fit, looking fabulous. You've had some tremendous columns. Of course, Mary Jo, you've been doing this column in the Myrtle Beach Herald, our show sponsor, for
3 years.
Almost 3 years now, or more than 3 years. Wow. Wow. What's that been like as you've seen 156 pieces come off your either fingers typing or writing them out? How do you go about preparing for a column each week?
Well, I've run out of ideas. I can tell you that. I struggle. It's hard every week to be a little more original, but I still have people come and give me ideas all the time, which is really helpful. I ask friends and neighbors and family and coworkers, tell me things you want to know about, and that really helps. And of course, seasonality helps too. A few weeks ago we did one on fall vegetables, and we've done one on holiday party season. And
party your mass off.
That's the one.
I hate to say it even out loud, but party your mass off. That was great. Folks can go online to myrtlebeachherald.com and see all those, or they can obviously pull some of those copies they have sitting around their house out and look back in there to check them out in Section A.
Absolutely. I still have a lot of people that say, I read your column every week. I don't do any of the things you tell me to, but I read your column. I'm just glad they're reading the column. If it inspires them to do one thing, then we've done something right.
That's exactly right. I think it says at the end of each column that you are an AFAA certified instructor. Is that
group
right?
fitness instructor with the American Fitness Association.
Okay.
And
what's the significance about being certified?
Well, the difference with being certified is we have to continually update our educational requirements. You know, we attend training and do about 18 hours every 2 years of training.
Is that right?
So I'm always getting new information, new ideas. They have great support on their website. You know, so you can learn a lot just by being AFA certified, or you know, any certification is good.
Sure.
Because it just requires that you learn more and more and more, and you know, never stop learning, because that's when you stop growing. But we, you know, we've done a lot of fun, interesting things in the fitness world in the last few years with the big onset of indoor cycling, which is a great, safe way for people to bike. You know, if you ride a bike in Myrtle Beach outdoors, then you know about outdoor cycling and how scary it can be, especially in the summertime. Right. Indoor cycling is a very joint safe way of getting great exercise, but doing it without getting run over and without falling off your bike. You know, those two things are the biggest reason people get hurt when they're outdoors on a bicycle, is cars and just falling over.
You mean a stationary bike? It's
basically a stationary bike, but it's done in a classroom format. So you have 10 or 15 of your closest friends riding with you, and you have an instructor who's guiding you through a guided tour of wherever you happen to be riding that day, whether it's the Alps or whether it's down the coast road. But
very nice.
So
do you have a screen there that goes along with it?
We don't. In our world, we have to do it all with our imagination, and we set it to music, and so it's it's high energy and very exciting. I do.
Yeah,
it's really one of my favorite things.
So you're talking it through. We're in the Alps and we're going down.
Exactly.
Wow, very nice.
Leading and motivating and pulling people up the hills and pushing them down the hills, and so that's a lot of fun. That's a great new, fairly new within the last 3 or 4 years in the fitness industry. Boxing classes are getting really big now, where you actually, I think last time you and I talked, we were talking about kickboxing, which is cardio kickboxing with no impact.
I stay back from Mary's show.
Well, now we're doing it with impact, which is even more fun. For those of you who are frustrated fighters, there's a boxing class now where you actually use a punching bag, and you actually get to impact things, and I found my students really enjoy that. It's a great upper body workout. We kick as well, so lower and upper body, but primarily, we don't do enough upper body focus when we're working out, I think. Legs are easy to work, but arms and back for women especially. Now men, they do more arms and back and not enough legs, in my opinion, but we all have the opposites. And so boxing is a great way to do that, and to also maybe not take it out on your family members at home. So.
Yeah, poor David. I mean, yes, exactly. Good David to go to the save.
No, he's very happy I'm teaching boxing now.
I'm sure. Where do you do this, Mary Jo? Do you not a plug necessarily for? Is it?
It's American Athletic Club.
And
I teach at the Grissom Parkway location.
Yeah.
It is.
You're able to go back and forth, South Atlantic Bank.
Absolutely.
Athletic.
5 minutes, I can be back and
forth.
Very
supportive, I'm sure, of you moonlighting. Yeah.
They are, and American has 3 locations now. One in Merle's Inlet, one on 544, and one at Grissom Parkway. So it's convenient for everybody. There is my plug, so I will give my gym a little plug.
Yeah, that is very convenient, of course. But as an AFAA certified group instructor, you could be anywhere.
I could.
Yeah, you just happen to be at American Athletic.
Exactly.
That's wonderful.
Yep, I follow the fitness coordinator there, Judy McCracken. Anywhere she goes, I go. So.
Very nice.
And of course, the owners are terrific, so that doesn't hurt a bit either.
Absolutely.
So. But it's a great facility. It's a lot of fun, and the people at a gym or at any kind of a group fitness environment really make a difference. If you need to be motivated, if you don't have a workout buddy, you can always go to any place that offers group fitness, and you have 15 or 20 workout buddies. So that's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it for people who want to exercise but just can't get motivated enough to get out there on their own.
Right. What got you into that, Mary Jo? Something in an early age? Parents who were very interested in getting you becoming fit, both physically fit as well as being a good, strong person? What was it about?
Good thing Mom and Dad don't live in the area,
because they had nothing.
Because they had nothing to do with it. Unfortunately, no. Mom and Dad. They could use a little more of getting off the couch themselves, but I do love them. But they need to read my column and do what I tell them to.
Right.
But really, I didn't get heavily involved in fitness until I was in college.
Is that right?
I was always kind of outdoorsy, into horseback riding and that kind of thing growing up. But when I graduated from college and went to graduate school, joined a gym and just fell in love with it. And that was it was pretty late in life for me.
Right.
And I find that with a lot of people, it doesn't matter what age you are. Fitness is something you can start at 20, you can start it at 40, you can start it at 70.
Is that right?
And it will make a difference no matter what.
And it will make a difference.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Now, I'm not saying when you're 70, start training for your first marathon, you know, not without medical supervision, but there are plenty of 80-year-olds that have done marathons, and I've never done that. So, but it doesn't matter what age. It just matters that you get out and move and breathe. And so for me, you know, 24, 25 was my age where I started doing group fitness, fell in love with it, did it a lot, and decided that maybe it was something I could really enjoy. I'm a frustrated actress at heart, so it suits all my performance needs. I get to get up in front of people and, you know, make a fool of myself or not, but and have a good time and you know, do something good for people in the long run. So it's fun.
That's great, Mary Jo. And what brought you to Myrtle Beach? How long have you been here?
I've been here since 1996.
Oh boy! Been
on the coast since '91. I was in Charlotte with Bank of America when I first started in my banking career.
Right.
And they trained us in Greenville, North Carolina, which is where I went to college, and then said, okay, now where do you want to work?
Yeah.
Well, I had a sailboat, so I wanted to work on the coast.
Ooh, yeah.
And so came to Charlotte, and then my husband was not my husband then, but came with me, and he's a yacht broker, and so he was working in Myrtle Beach, and we just ended up down here with Wachovia, and it's been a great fit. I love Myrtle Beach, love the community, love the people. It's home.
You've seen a lot of change in the last 11 years then in Myrtle Beach, and in the last 16, 17 years in the Brunswick-Oree area.
Absolutely. We're growing into a big little city. You know, a small town with 13 million visitors every year.
Right.
But, the roads are fabulous. You know, you can get around now, which you couldn't do back when I first got here. The shopping is great. You know, so many nice people moving into the area.
Right.
And so it's a town that, to me, has such a sense of soul and just a great place to live.
And the banking industry is a good one to be in right now, Mary Jo. I mean, it's a good place to be. Obviously, there have been a lot of anxiety by folks talking about homes and talking about, of course, the affluent atmosphere in the Myrtle Beach area. Just on Monday, we had a woman in from the community kitchen, and she was highlighting a lot of folks, unfortunately, moved to Myrtle thinking about the affluence, and then unfortunately fall into a trap and become homeless and hit a real tough time. And obviously for you, recognizing banking and seeing that affluence, how is it right now? What's it like, and where are we headed? Do you have any idea?
Well, you know, my world is a little bit different because I'm in the commercial banking world.
Okay, right.
You know, of course, we have the residential side too, but the commercial banking world, things are still moving along. You know, they're doing well. We still have a lot of people moving into our area. I'm sure you've had plenty of people in the real estate world talk about the fact that people will move to Florida, but it's too far away for family, or, you know, hurricane scares or whatever, and they'll move halfway back between the Northeast and the Southeast. And so, you know, Myrtle Beach makes a great place for people to park where it's easy to get to. We've got good flights coming in and out now daily. We've got easy driving to get here, so it's a pretty central location on the East Coast for anybody. So we're still seeing that growth. Exchange side of that is, you know, housing prices, if you're anywhere east of Conway, are pretty much going up and up, which makes it hard for our service economy folks who, you know, have a hard time living in the community where they work. And, you know, I'm sure that everybody's discussed that. That can be a tough challenge. But in the banking world, we still have a ton of opportunity here. I don't think we have nearly the big-time pressures that they have in other larger areas of people, you know, coming in, not closing on homes and not, you know, or having foreclosures. We haven't seen a lot of that.
Right.
So we're still very lucky in that respect. And in the big scheme of things, our taxes are low, our schools are good, and our houses are reasonably priced. So, you know, it's a great place to live. Right.
And South Atlantic Bank, as a new community bank, will be focused on the commercial side as well as residential.
Absolutely. We're doing both. We have full service banking. Anything a big bank can do, we can do.
Right.
So we have it all. Mortgage, we have in-house already ready to go. We have our consumer lending and deposit function, and then our commercial lending and deposit function, all the treasury services, anything anybody could want from a bank, we can.
A very exciting bunch, and of course working with Scott Plyler and Wayne Wicker, two gentlemen you know very well, particularly Scott there, and obviously the dedicated board that has been here in the community a heck of a long time, a very diverse group, really committed to the area and reinvesting back here very well. And you all were oversubscribed on the fundraise as well, which is exciting. It's always nice to try to raise a lot of money in that instance and raise a lot more.
And end up raising more. And we still had people calling on the last day saying, wait for me.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, hopefully they'll have an opportunity down the road.